Hey, you're here because you want to know where to start with that long list of tasks. Today, I'm going to share a strategy with you for using fun to prioritize everything on that list. Okay, let's infuse some fun into your day or your week so that you can get the ball rolling on that task list. We're going to start out by creating a continuum for how much fun, excitement, energy one of those tasks gives you. In this case, we're going to label it, I would do this for free. I love it. And at the bottom, we're going to label it, I dread this, even though they're paying me to do it. Okay, so we have that line. I love it. It's at the top. And I dread it. They're paying me and I have to do it, but I don't want to. Okay, you can probably already think of some things and where you would put them closer to the top or closer to the bottom. But before you start that, let's build the rest of our matrix. Now we're going to create a continuum. In this case, we're going to use the amount of time the task will take. In other cases, you might use a different factor for this, but for right now, that's what we're going to use. On the left, we're going to say, this is time consuming. And on the right, we're going to say, not time consuming. Of course, the amount of time is relative. Your not time consuming and time consuming are going to be different from mine and based on the task that you have on your list for whatever time frame you're planning. Now let's put it all together. I have a list of tasks and I'm going to work through each one so that you can see what it's like to put them on this chart. First task on my list is I need to grade 20 videos. Now you might be thinking, oh my gosh, that's going to take forever. But I know each of these videos is less than a minute and I can 2x the speed on these videos when I'm grading them. Also, I have a 3 criteria rubric for the video. So there's not a lot of brain power needed to do the grading. I don't have to do a lot of time agonizing and justifying the grade. I just mark how it is on the rubric. I'm going to go a little closer to not a lot of time on this one because it'll probably take me 20, 30 minutes, at max 45 minutes to get this done. And I do this because they pay me. I don't quite dread it, so it's not at the bottom, but it's definitely not near, I would do this even if they didn't pay me. So it's going to go lower on the edge. I'm going to place it right here in the matrix. It's not that time consuming, but I don't really love doing it. The next thing on my task list is a request to re-review a journal article. I've previously provided feedback on this article and the authors did a revision and they've now resubmitted it to the journal. I won't be providing substantial feedback this time. I just need to give a quick review. So I'm going to assume that it's going to take me about an hour, maybe a little more, to read the article and give feedback. So that's going to be a little closer to time consuming, but not like a 5 or 10 hour job. So close to the middle. I actually do this even if I'm not getting paid. And let's be honest, you're not paid for reviewing journal articles, except in the karma that comes back to you from doing them. And then someone will review your article in the future. But I would totally do this for free. So it's going to take about an hour and I'm going to place it way up at the top for I really enjoy doing it. I need to create weekly lesson plan guides for my student in one of my courses. I know this takes me an hour and a half. I've timed it. So it's going to take me about the same amount of time as the article review, but it's a bit more drudgery. It makes the week go by easier for my students. So I'm going to put it lower on the fun factor than the article, but about the same amount of time. Next up on my to-do list is entering the program assessment plan into the university system. Can you say I dread doing this? Absolutely. So I'm putting this pretty low on the fun scale. It's not the worst thing happening to me, but it's not something I'm looking forward to doing. And it's going to be higher on the time commitment than most of the other tasks I've already put down. The final thing on my to-do list that I'm sharing with you today is I need to code some focus group data. Now, I would do research without pay, but not every single bit of research is the same level of excitement. And let me tell you, reading through 7 hours of transcripts and coding that data is not something that's super exciting to me. So it's a little lower than I would do this without pay, but not down on the drudgery for sure, because I enjoy looking back through that data. So I'm going to put it in the middle of my excitement zone. And it's going to take quite a bit of time because there's over 7 hours of video. So that's a lot to read through and to watch the videos again. So it's going to take quite a lot of time. I can break it into smaller chunks and I could break those chunks into how much time I'm going to spend on each one. So let's assume every time I do it, I'm going to spend 2 hours coding that data. And then I'm going to have to repeat that multiple times. It takes a lot of time, but between I love it and mediocre. Well, here we are. We have everything plotted on our chart, and there are two different ways that we can start. If I want to start with high on the fun factor and I consider the time to some extent, I'm doing that article review first because it's going to make me excited to see the work that my colleagues are doing in our field. And I know that I'm giving back to authors that need to publish for their careers, and it just feels good to get your reviews back quickly. So that's going to be top on my list. I could, on the other hand, look at all this chart and think, I want to start with the least fun thing here so that I can work my way to enjoyable and end my day on a good note. In that case, I would work on that assessment plan and then work my way up to doing that article review. And by considering the time involved, I can also plot it on my schedule so that I know how much time I need to be spending. You'll notice all these things for today, maybe more than I'm going to get done in one day, but I can recognize that by acknowledging how much time it's going to take. So today, we worked through a way of prioritizing your tasks based on the enjoyment you will get out of doing that task. It's a great way to kick off the day and strategize what to work on next. That'll get the ball rolling. Once you get started on a task and you're enjoying that one, then often you have the momentum to just keep going and doing things that are a little less exciting. If you liked the content you saw here, I hope you'll hit the thumbs up and subscribe so that you can catch the next round of how to do prioritization based on a different set of criteria. Hi, I'm Dr. Kimberly J. Hale, Faculty Success Coach. I look forward to seeing you in the future. Keep exploring.